Hi there, this is Iñaki Albero from My Solutions Barcelona. Today I bring you how to get started with model-driven applications. This is an introduction on how to build your first application using your data model. Let's do it.
Before I start, I want to explain the main difference between Canvas application and model-driven applications. First of all, in Canvas application, you can choose between many data sources, but in model-driven application, it is mandatory to use Dataverse as a data source. As a consequence, the security model will be based on the data source you have chosen. And therefore, in model-driven application, it will always be based on Dataverse. Last but not least, Canvas apps are based on screen design and are much more flexible in their design. However, in model-driven application, there is a predefined UI to which some customizations can be made, although these are limited. Once we have clear about the difference, as I said, the first thing to do to build a model-driven application is to design the data model. So let's go. Our use case is as follows. We want to build a model-driven application for a laboratory that does analysis for other companies. We want to keep track of the tests and for whom they have been performed. So to build this, we will use two out-of-the-box entities, contacts and accounts, and we will build a custom entity called analysis so we can store the test data. The first thing I've done in the Power Apps portal is to create a solution called Laboratory App Solution, where I'm going to add everything I need for my application. I'm going to start by adding the out-of-the-box tables. So let's click in Add Existing and Table, and let's for Account and Contact tables. I'll include all objects, and here we have them. And once we have them, we are going to create our custom tables analysis. So let's go to New Table. And let's create it. Okay, now that we have every table in our solution, let's create the necessary columns in our custom table. In my case, I'm going to create two new columns. The first one is going to be the state of the analyzed objects. So let's call it state. Let's do it a choice column, and let's search for our state choice, and let's save it. Okay, now the other column is going to be used to save the result of the analysis. So I'm going to create a Boolean column. Let's say that 0 is harmless. And T1 is harm dose. Let's save it. Now that we have created the table and edited his columns, let's go into it and let's go edit his views. What I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this public view that is default, active analysis. This view is created by default when you create a table. As you can see here on the left side of the screen, you can see every field that are in the table, and on the right side you can see other configurations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this filter first, and I'm going to change its name. All analysis. Okay, now I'm going to remove this column, and I'm going to add, for example, the two columns that we have just created. let's add state and result. If you want to change the order of the columns, you just need to drag and drop them. And once we have finished, let's keep it like it was. Let's save and publish it. Okay, now let's go back. We have here the all analysis view, and let's go to the table forms and let's edit the main one, okay? Let's dip into it. And here we have the form. As before, we have here on the left side of the screen the fields of the table, and in the right side we have other stuff to configure. The first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hide the owner. So let's hide this field. As you can see, you can click here on one field, so it will be displayed some configurations. I'm going to add the state and the result. There are many things to do here in the forms. You can add some components and do it like more fancy, but we will see this in another video. Let's save and publish. Okay, once it's published, let's go back again, and now we have the three tables, and we have configured the views and the forms for analysis, and we have not done it for contact and accounts because this is they are out of the box tables and everything is already configured for creating the application. So once we have all this, let's go to apps and let's create our application. Model-driven application. Let's call it samples database. Okay. Let's call it database samples. And let's create it. And all you need to do is just go new, add a database table. Let's go next. Let's add account. Let's add contact. And of course, our custom table. Let's add them. And let's publish the application. Now, if we click on play, we will see the application displayed. So here at the left side of the screen, you can see our navigation menu. Here we have the accounts, our analysis, and our contacts. As you can see here in analysis, you have the view that we just configured, and you have right here a lot of buttons that give you a lot of functionalities. Let's start creating new analysis. As you can see here, also we have the form that we just configured. Let's name it analysis 1, and let's say that the state is solid. If you click save and close, you will see it right here in our view. And I'll show you, for example, the view of accounts. Here you have some examples, and if we go into one account, you can see that the forms could be a lot of customizations. You can see that you can do a lot of customizations in forms. You can see that you are able to do some tabs with some additional information. You can set right here at the top side relevant information. You can do sections to split information, and also what you can do is relate tables. So for example, here in the account A Data Incorporation sample, we have a list of contacts. What can you do? You can click on this contact, for example, and we will go directly into the form of this contact. As you can see here in the menu, you are now in contacts table, and it's still a lot of information. You have more tabs, and if you go back, you will go back to the sample that we to the account that we just entered. What I want to show you is how to relate tables and how this works in our forms. So let's go into analysis and let's go into relationships. What I'm going to do is I'll create new relationship, one-to-many. To create the relationship between analysis and account, I'm going to go to analysis and let's create new column. Let's call it account, and let's configure a lookup column. Let's search for account. Here it is, and let's save it. Here we have the column. Here it is, account. And now if you go to relationships, it should be a relationship with related table account. Okay, now let's go to analysis and let's edit each form. Now, as you can see here at the left side, we have a new field called account. So let's add it to the analysis. If you click on it, it will be added automatically. And let's publish it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the account form. Here it is, the main one. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add a tab. Here it is, one column tab. Here we have it. Let's change the label. Let's call it analysis. Let's hide the label and let's add a subgrid. When you click here, you have the option to show related records, and then you can choose the related table. Let's search for analysis. Here it is, and the default view will be all analysis. Let's click on done, and here we will have a subgrid with the analysis related with this account. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the label. And save and publish. Now all you need to do is go back to your application and refresh it. Let's go to analysis and let's create a new analysis. Now, as you can see, we have a new field called account that we just add to the form. So once you have the application created, if you want to do any change, you just need to edit the form or edit the view and then publish it, and automatically you will have the change ready in your application. Let's call it analysis 2. And let's select an account. Let's say that this is our account, and let's save and close. And let's create another analysis 3. And let's say that we want to assign it to the same account. If we save and close and go to accounts and search for our account, here we will have the new tab, and if we go into it, we will see here displayed the accounts, the analysis that we just created. If we go to analysis and create a new one, and we assign it to another account, for example, the AdventureWorks, and we go back to accounts and go into this one, as you can see, the analysis for it isn't here because it is related to another account. If we search for the AdventureWorks and go to analysis, here you can see the analysis for. Now, another thing that I want to show you is how to edit this navigation menu. So you need to go back and then click on Edit Application. Here it is. Here we have the navigation, as I told you. So here we have the group that is shown here as new group. What you can do is click on it and change here the name, and then always remember to publish if you want to see the changes on your application. Once it's published, let's go to our application and let's refresh it. Here we have the new name that we just changed navigation. In addition, what you can do is, if you don't want to show these buttons, you can go to Settings, Navigation, and then disable them. Now, if you publish, you will just see your navigation menu. Let's check it. Let's refresh the app. And here we have our navigation menu.
So that was it. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.